Well, I interrupt our regularly scheduled programming to bring you this special video that I think is important to share my thoughts and give my thoughts on what happened this past Saturday with Trump greenlighting the US basically taking out three nuclear sites in Iran and basically getting involved, officially getting involved. Now, I know a lot of people have a lot of different views on this, but I want to give my thoughts, kind of share my perspective, give my insight, and I hope you will be open minded to hearing what I have to say and just listening. So, with that said, let's uh, let's dive into this. Cue the intro. So, a lot of different people feel a lot of different ways on this. You got the people that just constantly criticize Trump, no matter what he does, no matter what actions he takes, they're going to find something wrong about it. Then you have the people that are full steam ahead, support Trump no matter what he does, no matter what. That's like his base. And then you got the people kind of in the middle that kind of support Trump but are also open to criticizing him and saying, "Hey, well, I don't agree with this, or I don't agree with that." Those are kind of who I want to focus on and talk to, because those people like Candace Owens, Tucker Carlson, Ian Carroll, they probably all voted for Trump this past election. And they probably all liked a lot of what Trump does, except for when it comes to this. They just feel that Israel has been the person trying to drag the U.S. into all of these wars, that the U.S. does Israel's bidding whenever Israel needs us to do this or do that. The U.S. will get involved. And a lot of people, just hearing about this even before Saturday, were like, what's happening to Trump? I thought he was a person of peace. And now all of a sudden he's talking about potentially bombing Iran, bombing these nuclear sites, potentially these nuclear sites. I mean, I've been reading comments and hearing people, all different sides. People like, this sounds a lot like Afghanistan. We were told that there was weapons of mass destruction over there, and turns out that there wasn't. So how do we know that there really is nuclear weapons and that they're close to having nuclear weapons? I mean, they've been saying this for years and years and years, that Iran is close to having a nuclear weapon, and nothing. And so what's the difference this time? How do we know that this is actually true, or we're just being fed a line to get us into war? Well, those of you that are asking those questions, those are very fair questions to ask, and I don't have all the answers. All I can say is, for those of you that supported Trump and are now, I don't know, like turning your back on supporting him and saying, this is not what I voted for. Trump is different now. He's changed his mind. He lied to us. This is I don't support this. I want to say Trump has been very, very consistent. On the campaign trail, he has mentioned numerous times that Iran cannot have a nuclear weapon. And in his first Trump presidency, he even said, Iran was broke. They didn't have money for a nuclear weapon. But when Biden came in, they kind of funded Iran so that they can actually get this. And this is where we're at. Now, the events from last Saturday. I do have a clip to show us. It's rather long. It's a little over 7 minutes. It's from the Brandon Tatum podcast. And he was showing clip after clip after clip from Trump on the campaign trail saying Iran cannot have a nuclear weapon. So I want to play this for you because Brandon even gives his commentary and his thoughts on all of this stuff, which I share a lot of the same opinions. So I want to play this for you, and just watch all of these 7 minutes, and then I'm going to give some closing thoughts afterwards. So Check this out.
With me saying, how are you shocked, Tucker, and whoever else is criticizing Trump? How are you shocked? We got a video of Donald Trump saying this. I mean, we got 16 minutes, and then we're not going to play 16 minutes because it's too long. But we got 16 minutes of Donald Trump saying that he's going to do, or his sentiment is the exact same as it is today. Roll the clip.
You cannot let Iran have a nuclear weapon. You cannot let it happen because bad things will happen if that happens. But everybody stopped. They were ready to make a deal. We would have made a deal that was great for everybody. No nuclear weapons. You can't give them nuclear weapons. Now they're going to have a nuclear weapon. Don't let Iran have nuclear weapons. That's my only thing I have to tell you today. Don't let them have it. They would have never had them, including Iran. They can't have a nuclear weapon. That's all. They can't have nuclear weapons. It's too destructive, too powerful. They can't have it. But I wanted to make a deal with them. No nuclear weapons. You can't have nuclear weapons. Nuclear weapons are the single greatest threat to this world, to the whole world. And Viktor Orban understands that, and some others do too. I just don't want them to have a nuclear weapon. And they weren't going to have one, and they cannot have a nuclear.
This is 15 more minutes. Y'all need to play a little more. No. For the people in the back that's saying, he only said that once or twice. We're going to just play just a few minutes. Hang on there. Some people are just joining. I want you to hear Donald Trump. He's probably said it at least 10, 15 times that we've had. Keep playing it.
Nuclear weapon. That was the only thing. The one thing I said, you cannot have. I just didn't want Iran to have a nuclear weapon. I said, we're going to make a great deal. Everybody's going to be happy. You're going to be rich as hell again. Everything's going to be great. But you cannot have a nuclear weapon.
You can't let Iran have nuclear weapons.
Iran cannot have a nuclear weapon. Very simple. They cannot have a nuclear weapon. Instead, we have a very hostile country that wants nuclear weapons. Can't let that happen. The main thing is Iran can't have a nuclear weapon. That was my main thing. The deal was a simple deal. Iran can't have a nuclear, it can't have a missile, can't have a nuclear missile. It cannot have that nuclear capability.
Iran should not have a nuclear weapon. They should have never been in a position where they could have had. If I were president, they wouldn't even be thinking about a nuclear weapon. And now they're months away from getting one because Biden doesn't have any idea what he's doing. He's grossly incompetent, and he has no idea. Iran should never be allowed to have a nuclear weapon, and Biden should never have allowed them to get this far.
They can't have a nuclear weapon. It's very simple. They can't have a nuclear weapon. You cannot let Iran have a nuclear weapon. With Iran.
Do y'all want me to keep going? We got 14 more minutes of this. What more do Donald? I think this is probably one of the most consistent things he said on the campaign trail. This is not like Trump said nothing about Iran having a nuclear weapon. He didn't say anything. And then all of a sudden, Benjamin Yahoo in the middle of the night decide to do something crazy and we didn't know about it, and now we all jumping for joy and standing behind him and we didn't know what was going on. What did Trump say to you? What was you watching? You were too busy kissing butts at Mar-a-Lago and trying to rub elbows with people, and I'm MAGA this and wearing your Trump hats and walking around, and you didn't listen to nothing he said. If you didn't want Donald Trump to act, if there's a possibility that Iran could have a nuclear weapon, you shouldn't have voted for him because he said he was going to do something about it. This is his number one. Forget it. Play it again. Come on, more. Just keep playing. I
have a nuclear weapon.
I just want to play a little more for you. What do you say?
I would say just play about 14 minutes.
Keep playing.
Simple. Hope we're going to be friendly, but they can't have a nuclear weapon. They can't have a nuclear weapon. And we were all set to make sure that they don't have a nuclear weapon, because once they do, it's a whole different world. It's a whole different negotiation. I'm not looking to hurt them. I want them to be great. Let them be happy and good. But they can't have a nuclear weapon. And now they're very close to having one. And it's very dangerous for the world. Very dangerous for the world. I mean, the biggest problem today, in my opinion, the biggest risk is the nuclear weapons, the weaponry. It's so powerful today. And I want them to be a strong country. I just don't want them to have a nuclear weapon. It's very simple.
Dangerous to be talking about impacting
you don't
nuclear facilities?
You can't let them have a nuclear weapon. You have to understand, I didn't want much. All I wanted is you can never have a nuclear weapon. I didn't want much. I wanted Iran to be very successful. I just don't want them to have a nuclear weapon.
Right.
Because That's the real threat. The real threat isn't global warming. The real threat is nuclear warming. Okay? All I wanted was Iran can't have a nuclear weapon. I just wanted, that's all I wanted. Very simple. You can't have a nuclear weapon. And I would have been very good to Iran. They had to have one thing, no nuclear weapons. You can't have a nuclear weapon. Nuclear weapons are the greatest danger to our country going forward, to the world going forward. Iran can't have a nuclear weapon. Nuclear weapons are the greatest.
Are you tired yet? Donald Trump has said, and this, we got 13 more minutes of him saying Iran cannot have a nuclear weapon. Like, and then he has said numerous times when Joe Biden was in office that they're close to having a nuclear weapon. And there is it bothers me a little bit, because why are people doing this? Donald Trump clearly said this. He's been saying since Biden was in office that Iran is closer to having a nuclear weapon. And then all of a sudden, when Benjamin Netanyahu comes out and says, we had intel that they're even closer, potentially days away from developing a nuclear weapon, it's all of a sudden the most shocking thing ever on planet Earth that Benjamin Netanyahu just made this up out of the side of his neck, when Trump has been talking about this since Biden was the president. And everywhere he's gone on the campaign trail, he keeps saying they can't have a nuclear weapon. Why do you think he's saying it if they don't have the opportunity to have a nuclear weapon? If they're never going to get a nuclear weapon? If it's just everybody just saying it's just to be saying it. We've been saying it for 45 years. You think he's just making this up? This is our guy that we voted for. Why are people turning on? I ain't not turning on him. Some are turning on him, clearly turning on him. But why are people turning on him when he already presented his side? Who changed? Him or you? Who changed? This is the thing that bothers me. They saying Donald Trump changed. Donald Trump not doing his campaign promises. Donald Trump being a warmonger. Well, Donald Trump has been Donald Trump and have been saying he's Donald Trump. You now all of a sudden have a problem. I don't.
Now, I just want to say that clip I showed you was from last week, before the events of Saturday. But it's still relevant because it shows how consistent Trump has been. And a lot of the stuff that Brandon said in there, I kind of agree with. And it's just those people that seem to say that Trump has changed his mind, that he's a war hawk now, that this is not what I voted for. Trump has said that on the campaign trail multiple times, that Iran cannot have a nuclear weapon. And he said that when he left office last, Iran was broke. And then Biden came in and started funding and giving money to Iran. So this is where we're at now. And he even tried to talk to them and tried diplomacy, where that has been exhausted, and that is why it has been greenlit. That's why that mission on Saturday was greenlit. Now, whether you like it or you hate it, you can at least see that Trump has been very consistent. So, and after everything he's been through on the campaign trail, the court cases, the 2 assassination attempts, Trump has always been America first. Always been America first. And I would just like to trust that the information that he's been briefed on, that he's been given, the intel that he's looked at, has been the most accurate and not misleading. So if there is stuff there to warrant a case for why he greenlit that mission, then I think he's earned that. In my opinion, I think he's earned that. So for those of you that voted for him last year and are like, Trump has changed, this is not what I voted for, well, he's mentioned that multiple times on the campaign trail. So you've heard him say it. So by voting for him, you did vote for him to take action. And also, I know some of you are like, well, what about the whole Israel stuff and the history of Israel and all of this stuff and Netanyahu? And what Candace has talked about, I'm just here to talk about and tell you that for those of you saying that Trump has changed his mind, that he is different, that he is a war hawk, no. Trump has been very consistent. And he already said that he was not going to put boots on the ground. Now, what Iran does to retaliate, if they decide to retaliate, we'll have to wait and see what happens and what unfolds. But just be in prayer. Pray that that God is leading Trump to not just make the best decisions for the U.S., but that also that we won't be in this endless war. That what happened Saturday is going to be it, and that's that. That's that. So I thank you guys so much for tuning in and for hearing what I have to say. But just know that I still support Trump. I'm not a big fan of, us kind of getting physically involved, the U.S. getting physically involved. But hey, I don't have all the information in front of me. I don't see what Trump sees. Trump is the one that is the commander-in-chief. So he sees all this intel, and I'm going to trust that he knows what he's doing, that he has talked to wise people, listened to both sides, took in all the information, and then made the decision. So I want you guys to know that is he's been consistent. So don't turn your back on him now. And please comment below and let me know what your thoughts are, whether you support and like what he did on Saturday, the actions. If you don't, and just let me know. Be respectful, but let me know what your thoughts are. So until then, you guys stay safe. We'll be back next week, and we'll pick up actually where the regular video that was supposed to be today will be next week. So we'll pick up where we left off next week. So please don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. And thank you guys so much, and stay safe. All right, so I just had to come on here real quick and just give a little side note, a little addendum to what I just recorded, because the news changes so fast. And if you guys have not seen it, Trump's Truth Social post that he made yesterday, I'll put a screenshot up here. Apparently, both Israel and Iran have agreed to a ceasefire. So for those people that were worried that we were going to get dragged into this World War III and things were all like doom and gloom and oh my gosh, what did he do? Why? We just have to wait it out. Like I said, at least for me, Trump has earned the right. After everything that he's been through, he's showed us that he is America first. He has always been America first. And he had a goal, like I showed you in the clip, the Brandon Tatum clip. How many times he said on the campaign trail, Iran cannot have a nuclear weapon. That was his goal, to make sure that they did not get a nuclear weapon. And now, here we have a ceasefire. So, for those of you that are worried, I guess you can kind of hopefully rest easy once it's official. Hopefully it's official if everything goes off without a hitch. So just keep praying. Just keep just be praying for our president, our country, all the countries in the Middle East, that everybody is actually just true to their word. They signed the documents, they agree to the ceasefire, everything becomes official, and there is no more wars. That everything kind of gets taken care of. And then even Russia and Ukraine, that can get taken care of. All of these things can get squared away. So I just wanted to come in here and give this little addendum and an update because, like I said, things happen so fast. So again, with that said, I'll see you all next week, and we'll pick up with our regularly scheduled programming. So God bless.